In this video, we are going to talk about the top 10 remarkable things the Pope did. So before starting this video, please like this video and subscribe to our channel for future updates. Pope Francis packed each day of his three-city American tour with impressive events. In locations often used for sporting events and parades, he presided over Mass for hundreds of thousands of attendees. His high-profile activities included a trip to the White House, speeches before Congress, and an address to world leaders at the UN. Here is the list of top 10 remarkable things the Pope did. So let's start. Number 10. Lampedusa Lament. In July, Pope Francis visited the small Mediterranean island of Lampedusa to discuss the suffering of migrants who cross perilous waters to reach Europe. The pontiff led a liturgy and cast a wreath into the water in honor of those who have drowned, denouncing global indifference toward the less fortunate. A boat carrying 450 migrants capsized nearby the island 3 months later, resulting in at least 114 fatalities. Number 9. Dial S for Succor. Italian teenager Michele Ferri, 14, was heartbroken by the robbery-related death of his brother, a petrol station owner. He addressed a letter to the Pope and stated on Facebook that he was unable to forgive God. He received a call on August 7. The caller identified themselves as Pope Francis and greeted Michele. The cold call Pope, who has called a number of strangers in need, has made use of this sentence as something of a catchphrase. Number 8. South American Welcome. The 14th World Youth Day was held in Rio de Janeiro in July, and the Pope, who was born in Argentina and is the first pontiff from the Americas, was greeted with a raucous greeting. Francis received well wishes from hundreds of thousands of people, and the modest pontiff returned the favor by getting out of his car and strolling among the city's shantytowns. Number 7. The Patient Pontiff. One young Catholic, who was meeting the Pope for the first time, couldn't contain his excitement. On October 26, a young audience member who had been invited to sit close to Pope Francis during his address to the Pontifical Council for the Family at the Vatican went forward to hug him in the middle of his speech. Unfazed, Francis gave the youngster a stroke on the head and allowed him to remain seated in his chair while he spoke. Number 6. Global Peacemaker. Pope Francis sent a letter to Russian President Vladimir Putin, a significant supporter of the Syrian regime, pleading for peace as the United States and its allies put pressure on Syria to give up its chemical weapons. To the leaders present, to each and every one, I make a personal appeal for them to help find methods to transcend the competing perspectives and to put aside the vain pursuit of a military solution, Francis wrote in a letter to Putin, who was hosting a summit of world leaders in St. Petersburg. Number 5. A social issues shift? Pope Francis said in an interview published in Jesuit publications in September, capping his push for a more inclusive church. The interview challenged Catholic attitudes on homosexuality and the role of women in the church. Number 4. Habemus Papam. On March 13, 2013, the second day of the conclave, and after 5 rounds of voting, Pope Francis, then known as Jorge Mario Bergoglio, was chosen as the new pope. The Sistine Chapel chimney began to emit white smoke at 7:06 p.m. local time, indicating that the wait was over. Number 3. A compassionate embrace. The entire world was moved when Pope Francis embraced a guy with a disfigurement without hesitation in St. Peter's Square in early November. A 53-year-old man with von Recklinghausen syndrome named Vinicio Riva later admitted to being mute at the time in an interview with the Italian magazine Panorama. It seemed to last forever, he remarked. I only felt love. Number 2. Who am I to judge them? When Pope Francis said in July that he did not judge LGBT people, he enhanced his reputation as a reformer. On his journey home from Rio de Janeiro, he said to reporters, "If people accept the Lord and have good intent, how am I to condemn them?" Number 1. The first Francis. Francis became the first pope to pick St. Francis of Assisi as his namesake when he decided on his papal title. He exclaimed, "How I would want a church that is poor and for the poor." That's it for today. We hope you found our video interesting. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and share it with others. Also, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to our channel. Don't forget to turn on the notification bell, so you don't miss any of our new uploads. In the end, thanks for watching, and see you next time.